Webster.
Here, barely.
Yeah.
And Commissioner Ladies. Thank you.
All right, approval of the agenda.
Move to approve. Yep.
Motion, support. Any discussion? All in favor for approval of the agenda with an eye?
Aye.
Opposed, the same. Public comments? I see no public.
No public.
They have no comments. So let's move on to new business, the employer-sponsored health insurance.
So we just got the rates yesterday, and Teresa's been working on this all day yesterday into the evening even.
Oh, boy.
And she's going to lead us through what she's put together.
Yeah, so the delay per se was an error in Blue Cross. They had, when we changed our renewal from October 1st to January 1st last year, they had put it in their system incorrectly in the fact that the dental was in the large group because we have 50 or more,
Okay.
but the medical was not. So their system was not jiving, which is what caused the problem. And ours is actually the very last one that they were working on to get resolved. So the delay was on them, they own it, and they gave us a reduced rate as a result of the delay.
Nice.
So we are looking at a 7.5% increase, which is less than what we had expected. Because of the error in their system, they sent us an invoice in October with an increase of 9.5%. So this is a welcome surprise that they're giving us 7.5. Even though 7.5 isn't great, but it's better than we were expecting. Yeah, it is better than what we were expecting. So I didn't put page numbers in this because I was in a very big hurry. But the page that's got the chart on it, I replaced that chart with the one that's black and white in your that is at your seat there, because there was an error in the current plan contribution column. So basically, if you look at the one that it's black and white.
The black one, okay.
Just by itself. The first group there, or the first columns, are the current plan and what employees are currently paying. So if you look in the far left, you have medical option 1, which is what we call our buy-up plan. And then medical option 2, which is the base plan that we base everything from. And then you have a lower cost option, which is option 3, which is your HSA plan that we added last year for the $1,500 deductible. And then option 4 is the no cost plan to the employee with a higher, it's an HSA with a high deductible. Then I have dental and vision separated down at the bottom. So what we have done as an agency is we have always bundled dental and vision and medical. If you enroll in medical, you get dental and vision. I am proposing that we don't do that going forward, and I'll get into the reasons why. It has to do with that PA 152. So the dental has been pulled out. It's on a line of its own now. So that's then the first group there is your current rates, and the middle grouping there is your renewals. So you will see in the middle section, the first column is what the actual premium is. The second column is what your employer cost would be monthly. Then the third column is the bi-weekly deduction for employees. And the fourth column is just the monthly deduction.
And you're using employer cost monthly based on how we calculated 80/20 or hard cap last year. You're using that as your projection.
Yes, getting there.
Okay.
So if you look at the medical option plan 2 base, it's not green on this one. It was green on this one. But it says PA 152 cap set to 80% of this option. It's like the second.
Yeah.
What we did last year is we took that traditional Blue Cross Blue Shield PPO plan, and we said we're going to pay. What we had done in the past is we always had opted to 80/20 for PA 152. When we added the low cost plans or the no cost plan, we couldn't continue on with using the 80/20 methodology and still fund their HSA plans. Because if you're using 80% of the cost, there's nothing left over. So what we did was we set our hard cap, because it was lower than what the state's maximum hard cap is, to 80% of the cost of this $1,500 traditional PPO. So we set our hard cap based on that one that says PA 152 cap set to 80% of this plan. And that's what these numbers are generated off of. So then if they want the buy-up plan, which is the one above it, it's more, they're going to pay more. We're still only going to pay for a single person $551.92, which is the same we pay on the 1,500 plan.
Yeah.
If they want the HSA 15,300, which is now 1632, we're still going to pay $551.92 of that, but their contribution goes down. It doesn't cost them as much. And then if they want the no cost to them plan, so they don't want it to cost them anything, we're still going to pay $551.92. And that plan only costs $531.12. So we're going to put the remaining $20.80 into the HSA account.
Gotcha.
So that is how this is figured. That's how we calculated it.
That happens with the family and with the double and everything. There's money left over to put into the HSA with that no cost plan.
With the no cost plan, which is why we went with one that is kind of a higher deductible, is $3,200, but it keeps it in the no cost area.
Yeah.
Right. It's a less cost, so we can offer it to the employee at no cost to them. And then for people that are young that don't use their insurance or don't have medical issues, they can pick that, and it's more money in there.
Yeah.
So, then the dental piece is here at the bottom. Now, we have had significant conversations with our staff because there are a number of dentists in the area that are no longer taking Blue Cross Blue Shield Dental. So I had Diana, our admin support clerk, call dentists in each county to get information. And the information that she basically collected over the Tri-County area is she called 18 dentists, and 18 of them said that they take it, and 9 said they take it, Blue Cross Blue Shield, and 9 said they don't. And it seemed to be rather lopsided. So St. Joe County, there's almost nobody taking it, except for the MCBC dental clinics. In Hillsdale County, they're taking it really pretty good still, and Branch County's kind of mixed. So we asked the insurance carrier to quote us different dental options, and they quoted us Delta Dental. And also I had Diana ask when she called the dentists what they're taking, and they almost all said Delta Dental. So we asked the insurance carrier to quote us a comparable plan through Delta Dental, and I was actually quite surprised because it's cheaper than the Blue Cross plan for the same benefits. We also asked them to quote us a better dental plan, because the plan that we have now, that we've had for a number of years, it only pays 50%, 50% or 50%. So it's 50% for cleanings, 50% for class 2, and 50% for class 1. So they're only ever going to pay 50%, and it's capped at $800 a year. So if you have 1 crown, you're out of dental insurance. And if you get your teeth cleaned, it's costing you money. So we asked them to quote us an additional dental plan, and that's the column to the right. All the medical stuff is exactly the same. The dental piece at the bottom is there. And that dental plan would pay 100% of preventative, like cleanings. It pays 80% for class 1 services like fillings, and 50% for your major class 2 things, with $1,000 max.
Yeah.
And that would, if we opted to do that, that would, based on current enrollment, would add $14,444 to the renewal. So without that, the renewal would increase the budget by $39,093. So that is basically that. Then the next page just gives you the details on the medical plans that we offer, and gives you kind of the detail that went into making this chart. It's just the rates. And then you see the different options for the dental. that we looked at and chose from, and I selected these two to provide. So the two in green are the two that you see on this sheet as proposed. And then, going on life and AD&D, the rates did not change. The short-term disability rates did not change. The principal vision insurance rates did not change. And the life insurance didn't change. So that is where we are. We have also, we did not ask for them to quote other carriers because we didn't know what our renewal was going to be. We have since asked them, our insurance agent, to quote us some other carriers. Don't have that information at this time, but he is working to get it for us. But I'm not very hopeful that they're going to do something better than what we have. And I would actually like to keep what we have.
Mhm.
If we can absolutely not change what we have, other than changing the dental, I think that would be a win for the employees here.
It's pretty much works about everywhere. All the committees I sit on, you can't beat it.
Yeah.
Delta? Yeah.
Yeah, we have Delta at the bank.
Well, everybody's been looking around.
We appreciate you putting this information together. Any questions, guys, on the insurance?
Not really. And you're gonna recommend a hard cap again?
I am. So that's kind of agenda item number 2 is PA 152. And the last page of your packet is PA 152 stuff. And this is just the state, what the state puts out. This is what the law is, right? And that's what the maximum that we could pay is. I put this sheet at your, it's PA 152 hard cap. It was an addition to, because it wasn't in the packet last week. I put that into place. And basically, if, so PA 152 says that, you know, a public employer can use one of two methodologies. They can either use a hard cap or they can use an 80-20. We always use the 80-20 here before. We switched to the hard cap last year so we could offer the no cost plan with contribution. Okay. We are running into an issue with PA 152 if we calculate everything the same way we have it. We're not over PA 152, but PA 152 is not include dental or vision. And we've always calculated that as part of our medical weekend, which is the reason why I've separated it out down here now, because it's not subject to PA 150. So if you look at the top of this, the hard cap max, that's the most the agency could pay per the government. If we use a hard cap number, doesn't mean we have to pay that much, means we cannot pay more than that much. Then if you look at the next column, it's 80% of the cost of the PPO, 1,500 traditional. You can see we're well below, and the third column is the difference. We're well below the hard cap for just medical. Where we get into trouble is if we add dental in there, and then you'll see we get into trouble. We're $227 over for just the couple. We're still under for the other ones, but we're over for that. That is why I have removed it. It is a separate plan. It's not bundled with the medical anymore. It's a separate enrollment. They enroll in it separately. So my proposal would be that we set the hard cap to 80% of the cost of the traditional 1,500 PPO, like we always have. That's what our hard cap is for medical, but we also agree to pay for 80% of the cost of dental and vision outside of the hard cap number.
So we get to set that hard cap as long as it's under what the federal government's telling us we have to have
Yes.
as our maximum hard cap.
Yes.
Correct. I'm
Yeah.
getting that. Okay. I see what you're saying.
We can't go over that, but it does
We
not
can't
have
go
to
under
be.
it,
Yes,
though,
it
right?
does not have to be that.
Okay.
And ours has not been that in the past. I mean, it's not been that high. One of the reasons we've always got 80-20 here is it benefits the agency, right?
Yeah.
It costs the agency less. Now, as these numbers change, you know, insurance went up by 7.5%, but the hard cap was only adjusted by, I think, 4.1%,
Mhm.
which is why we're, you know, narrowing in on what
Yeah,
we have.
yeah.
We may get to the point where we are just using the hard cap number.
Yeah.
right now it's still better for us to use the methodology of 80/20 to set our hard cap number. And that also allows us the flexibility to offer a buy-up plan that the employee can have if they want it, it costs them more money,
Right.
or to have a lower cost plan, which, you know, helps their pocketbook.
Yeah, if they don't need it.
Right.
Giving them options is always a good thing, obviously, because people's family situation is, everybody's different, so I like that.
You say it's a $30-some thousand hit to the budget?
It is, if we keep it comparable Delta Dental plan and don't do the increased or enhanced dental plan, it's $39,093 for the budget. And of course, that's based on what people have elected today. That does not mean that's what the cost is, because when we go through open enrollment, they can change the charge. Anytime somebody quits and somebody gets hired, we can lose somebody that's family and gain somebody that's single, or vice versa, which can have, that's like a $10,000 hit to the budget every time you go from one to the other. So budgeting numbers for health insurance are always kind of iffy.
Steve, what were you gonna say?
I'm gonna say it's crazy that vision and dental is not included in the health pro, you know. And the health option.
152.
Yeah, cause it's health too, isn't it?
It is, and on this, I wasn't sure. I asked our agent. He's like, "Oh, I think it's not," and I'm like, "I need it in writing
Yeah,
that it's
right.
not." And you know, so we went out to the state treasury's website, and they said that a medical benefit is fine as a plan that provides for the payment of medical benefits, including but not limited to hospital and physician services, prescription drugs, and related benefits for public employees or elected public officials. Treasury has interpreted this definition of medical benefit plan to exclude separate plans for dental and vision insurance.
State employment life, I've always had two different ones.
Yeah.
It's never been
Well, it was interesting when I was talking with our agent. He said 90% of their clients don't bundle it together. We are kind of the
Yeah, we didn't. The
Oh.
bank doesn't bundle it together either.
AT&T bundles.
Well, and you know, I've worked here so long, I didn't know that.
Yeah.
It's always been that way here.
Yeah, it's
That's it.
always been bundled,
Mm-hmm.
but I'm proposing to unbundle it.
Yep. Any other questions, guys? I mean, what action do you, so are we recommending the hard cap? Is that what we're essentially doing at the committee?
I mean, you kind of have your options. You can recommend something to the full board. It might not be conducive to do that at this point because we don't even have all the information, right?
Yeah.
I'm
But-
really asking for direction. If you guys feel comfortable, you can definitely make a recommendation to the full board, and we would welcome that you do. But if you're not comfortable with that, it's okay because we don't have the
I'm
other.
comfortable with a recommended 80% hard cap and 80% management dental, but I mean, that's just me. I don't know everybody else is that, but
Yeah, I'm fine with it too, to be honest with you.
it's not gonna make a big issue further on. And just refresh me, do we have an opt-out here?
Mhm.
And that's how much for the
It's
family?
$2,500 for a family, but we also it's the cash in lieu is what you're talking about.
Right.
$2,500 a year, but we also have an option where they can get dental and vision only,
Mm-hmm.
which they get a reduced cash in rate.
So that's divided
Quarterly.
quarterly?
It's quarterly.
Yeah, so they get $625 a quarter if they have nothing, and I think it's $350 if they have dental and vision.
And we do have people that opt for that,
Yeah,
right? I mean, they're covered on a spouse's plan and
See, so, you don't foresee increasing that, do you? Because obviously it's the incentive to have people get out of it.
I don't. We checked around last year, and it's pretty standard. The number we're using is it was pretty universal with the people that I checked with. And
And
I think
actually-
St. Joe County's number is 25.
Yeah.
I think it is.
And I think statistically it shows it doesn't really matter what you're offering.
Right.
we did increase that amount, but it's been a number of years. I'm pretty sure during my predecessor's time, there was an increase to our hard cap, but not by much, maybe $500 or something.
I'm gonna make the motion that we recommend to the full board 8% hard cap and 8% match dollar devil.
All right, I have a motion on the floor. Do we have a second, anybody? Anybody? All right.
Thanks for the support, Steve.
Yeah, we have a motion and support. Any further discussion? Thank you for putting this together. I know it's a lot of work.
Yeah,
And
so
you did a good job of explaining it. Obviously, you're going to explain it to the full board, I would assume, right?
So also, I would kind of like to know direction wise. So we've got the hard cap set at what we think it's going to be. Direction wise, is there anything you'd like to see me bring back to the full board on which plans we pick? You know, are you comfortable with the status quo? Do you want more information about either one of these two options? I mean, I gave you the option of the just changing
You
the
always
delta
provide
dental.
more than we listen.
Yeah, I like it.
So,
But you're going to offer the buy up, the HSA, the no cost in the base, right?
That's what I'm proposing.
On the
We
health
don't
side.
change anything there. The
I
only
like
thing we're changing is
Is
from
on the
Blue Cross
dent-
to Delta
Delta,
Dental.
yeah.
The question becomes, are we changing from Delta Dental that's comparable or Delta Dental that is an enhanced?
So you're not going to offer. You don't offer both of them. You just have to offer one. Is that what we're saying?
I'd like that to be the case.
No, that's fine.
However, I say that, but maybe I don't. It's one of those, I'd like that to be the case that we only offer one if it's the enhanced one. But if it's the not enhanced one, then I'd like to offer two. I have yet to hear back from our agent on whether or not that's an option. You know, because if we stick with the base plan and offer a buy-up on the dental, it becomes a lot more work for my staff.
Yeah.
But that's what they get paid to do, right? But I also think that you won't have very many people that pick the base plan. They go to the buy-up because the cost difference is like it's like $29 out of their pocket a year. And if they get their teeth cleaned, they spent more.
Yeah, I'm fine with the enhanced Delta. My side too. Steve, what do you think?
I like it.
Okay, so I
All right,
add a lot to it then, and
we'll add that to it. Let's vote on it for the recommendation. All in favor? Aye. All opposed, the same.
everything.
wait, who made that motion?
That was.
Who made the motion?
Jay did, Steve backed it.
Yeah,
And,
I gavelled it.
yeah.
I just wrote down Steve House. That doesn't work.
No. I don't know if there's any Steve Elton.
Mixing
John.
names.
Something.
Got it.
Steve.
Right. Well.
Very good.
Do you need any kind of separate action for B, or are we good? B is the 152.
Oh, they did that first.
Okay, so you're
Yeah.
good.
We're good. Yep,
Yeah.
I'm good.
All right.
Totally filled out.
Very good. Moving on to public comments. Any public comments? No. All right. We're all set for November 20th. We're doing what? Is it 9?
November 9th.
I'm sorry. Oh, this says November 20th.
Why does it
Well-
say that?
Because I think that's the finance.
Is that finance?
And then when we do.
It might be wrong.
I think, and then I think there's one at the end of the month.
November 9th is the full board meeting.
Oh, November 9th is.
Mm-hmm.
Right, but I think there's finance committee meeting 20th for December.
I'm going to put that down.
I do not have that in
November 20th?
Yeah,
9
I'm
o'clock.
looking
I
at the
have it
wrong
in mind.
calendar.
Yeah, it's
All
It's
right,
for the
I'm looking at the
finance
wrong.
meeting.
Yeah,
Yeah,
finance.
finance. This is finance. But I need to put in, okay, November 9th.
November 9th at 9 a.m.
At 9. I got to do that right.
And then we got December 14th as our last.
Until January.
All right.
and then
Cheat this finance meeting too, right?
I'm sorry, when?
December 14th.
No, it would be,
Is that a full board?
It's full board.
yeah, then our finance is 20th,
Of November.
but, and then we meet for last time in December.
And I'm really hoping we don't, have any business to talk about and we don't have to have that meeting on the 19th or the 20th. The finance committee meeting.
what would we
Yeah, that's-
have? I mean, if we get insurance out of the way,
Yeah, can't think of anything. That's why I said but you know.
there's
you
no
never know.
budget amendment at this point.
Nope.
We done
So-
the 14 cents or anything, yeah, 5 cent or. what were
Oh,
we-
that's what it would be, cost me. Yeah.
So that was, you took action at the last board meeting to accept, the increase, and then you take it back, or we've communicated, I think, with the counties anyway.
Can we real quick, Rebecca? Can we adjourn this meeting?
Yes,
Okay. Can I have a motion to adjourn this meeting?
Motion to adjourn meeting.
Click that thing off.